Okay, we're now recording, just so everyone's aware. So we will welcome Rohany from the Chicago Muslim Green Team today. She will share about a little bit about herself and about her group. So yeah, with that, I'll turn it over to you, Rohany. You're still on mute.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Melissa, for having me here. Okay, let me get my presentation PowerPoint. So can you guys see this?
Not yet.
No? Oh, I guess I didn't push. I know it. Share screen. Okay.
There we go.
Yep. Yay. Hello, everybody. Okay, so can you guys see this? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you very much for inviting us, and it's such an honor to meet all of you. My name is Rohany Nayan, and as you can see, I am the education coordinator at Green Team, Chicago Muslims Green Team. And who am I? Well, I'm the youngest member who joined Green Team. I joined Green Team I met them in 2018. And in 2019, because I love what they were doing, so I joined them. And because I am an educator, so I was given the role to lead the education team. And if you see the photo, the beautiful photo on the left here, this is the photo that kind of summarizes my life. And it's what we call a kampung house, a village house in the south of Malaysia. I'm not from the south of Malaysia. I'm originally born and raised in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. And I came to America in '85 to pursue my bachelor's and my master's at Indiana University, where I studied in English and language education. And I was supposed to go home and work in Malaysia, but I met my husband at IU, and the rest is history. And so that's the beginning of my life in the US. And in terms of my educational background, I always love culture. And so that's why after, while studying, I decided, wow, I love language. And so I started to get into culture. And later on, I pursued my PhD in curriculum and instruction at UW-Madison. With the area in literacy studies. So my research is looking at identity development and literacy practices, especially of Muslim immigrants living in the US. And so that's why I really love studying people, looking at people and making programs for people. And the quote that I left down there, my mother, before I left, always told us in the family that always leave a place better than you found it. And so that is the motto in my life. Wherever I go, I just make sure that not to complain, because my mother always told us, don't complain until you can provide a solution. And so being with Chicago Muslim is my solution to some of the things that I'm worried about. So now let's do a little bit of icebreaker. I can see like 5 people on my screen right now. So I'm just going to ask you, maybe not all the questions, maybe 3 questions. So if I'm going to give you 2 choices. So if you think more of choice number 1, just put up your finger 1. And if you think more of choice number 2, put up your finger 2, okay? So just for a minute, let's play this. So are you more worried about food scarcity or floodings? All right, Melissa 1, Frank 1, and Catherine's still thinking. Okay. All right. So next question. Are you more worried about dangerous heat waves or rising sea levels? Melissa said 2. I'm sorry, the rest of you, I can't really see you. All right. Frank's still thinking. Catherine's still pondering. Okay, so
to only choose one, or are we able to say that we?
Right now, you're more worried about it, right? So you have more worries about this issue. Actually, you can do right, because both are important. But,
But if we hold up a 1, you don't know whether we said food scarcity or floodings.
oh, 1 is food scarcity, flooding is 2. So that's why I said 1 or 2. You know,
So choosing among the 5.
no, listen to my question. I'm just choosing 3 questions, okay, out of the 5. Okay, my last question. All right. Are you more worried about plastic pollution or deforestation? Okay, Melissa said deforestation, and Catherine's still thinking, and Frank too.
And people in the
Okay.
chat, everyone said deforestation.
Really? Oh man. Okay. All right. So basically, even though I didn't ask you the other questions, these are some of the things that are happening right now, and we should be worried about all of them, right? Not just choosing this and choosing that and all that. And that's why I think I'm so glad to connect with 350, because I know you guys are fighting the climate change, and that's part of the fight that we are working on too at Chicago Muslim, CMGT. So today I'm basically going to talk a little bit about inspiration for CMGT and some of the initiatives that we have done in the past, current and future, and some facts and figures, and maybe we can talk a little bit about what we can do together. And if you guys have any question, please feel free to type in the chat room on the side, and I'll try to answer them at the end of the presentation. Okay, sounds good? All right. So in terms of who are we, and if you look at the logo of Chicago Muslim right now, can all of you see the logo on your right-hand side? Yeah. What do you think is that building in there? That image in the logo?
A mosque.
Yes. Okay. So that is the icon. It's a mosque. So we are an emerging Muslim leader in the environmental justice movement. We are very, very young, and we just got our nonprofit status last October, like CMG, like 350 Chicago too. And so congratulations. And so we are made up of mainly volunteers. We do have 1 staff and volunteers who are nature lovers, and we are dedicated to raising awareness, because a lot of the time in many Muslim groups, they know, yes, we know what's happening with the earth, what's going on in the world, but not really know how to go about to be part of the movement. Except for young people, a lot of Muslims don't know much. And so we are very, very concerned about this and dedicated to raising awareness and also working on social justice and environmental causes. And also one of the things, our goal is to promote a mindful, eco-friendly and sustainable lifestyle inspired by Islam and Muslim traditions. And so basically what we are doing right now is really planting the seed for people to grow their confidence and to join us in taking care of this world. As Muslims, we believe that every little deeds, good things that you do, when you do good, you get reward for it, from God. And so that's why Chicago Muslim Green Team, we said that, okay, let's now produce leaders who can lead all of us to be more aware of what's going on right now and join the movement in leading a green life, and especially in making mindful decisions about our day-to-day, what to do, how to do it, and that will not hurt each other and also our planet. And so meet the founders. These are the 3 wonderful, wonderful women who really set up the nonprofit organization. And they told me their story. I wish they were here today. They were planning to come, but things come up and they couldn't make it. So we have Khawla Hammad on the left, and then the middle is Caroline Williams, and then on the right is Emelda Bekkal. And so they started in 2017 by attending some of the green movements activities happening around Chicago, and they really love the activities that were going on. And then they say, hey, why don't we come up and set up a Chicago Muslim Green Team? And that's the story. In 2018, then they decided to do something about it. And the rest is it. Here I am. So, and we also have about a small, pretty small, not big yet. We have about 20 people who are helping us doing the work. And these are wonderful people who are serving as volunteers to carry out our mission. And as you know that this is CMGT, as I mentioned earlier, our vision is basically to connect Chicago Muslims because here there are so many mosques, Islamic centers, and different groups of Muslims in Chicago. So we are in the process of connecting, making efforts to connect to many of them, and then also to connect those Muslims that we have a network with to the greater community. And hopefully we can work together on raising awareness of the issues that we're facing, especially in Chicago and domestically and internationally. And we also want to spread awareness of eco-friendly lifestyle. So basically, we build bridges with other communities, and we have an educational program to spread awareness so that we can build a greener world and unite communities in problem solving. So these are some of the things that we are doing. And so some of the values that we work with is based on gratitude. As showing gratitude to God and gratitude to each other and our planet Earth. How are we going to show gratitude? It comes in many ways. We work together and we take care of the prey, we take care of animals and our planet. And so stewardship of the earth becomes one of our core values. Very important to act as a leader because we are all leaders. We are leaders of ourselves. For example, like we wake up in the morning, what am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to do? And so we make decisions for ourselves, our families, our neighbors, and also for the places we work with. So we are all leaders. So accepting the responsibility to be steward. And we also be mindful about being moderation, integrity, and sustainability in everything we do. Even for me personally, since I joined CMGT, I have adopted some transformations in my decision making and going shopping. Okay, what is it that I want to do? And even shopping, do I need it really? Can I still repair what I have? And it changed a lot of my way of thinking. And also creating community with all creations, humans, animals, and with the nature. So we are including more things as part of our community and also bearing the social responsibility in the practice that we do. And so let me go to the next one. Oops. Okay. So I like the question posed by others whenever you go and meet other people, and we ask, what are we doing for others and the environment around us? And this is one of the questions that we always bring up at CMGT, looking at what others are doing and what are we doing? How can we contribute? Because this is our life most urgent and persistent question, because we don't live alone. We live in a community. And David Orr, the professor of environmental studies and politics at Oberlin College, said, when we heal the earth, we heal ourselves, which is so true. Because even when you're helping somebody, you feel good that you're helping another person. And for me, I love to make people laugh and smile because I feel that, oh, my life is happier when other people are happier too. So the main inspiration for CMGT is, of course, Islam, and based on the concept of environmental protection and sustainability. As Muslim, there are two sources there are two primary sources that we turn to when we are looking for justification for and guidance for what to do and everything. One is the Qur'an, and the Qur'an is an Arabic word which means the recitation. So Muslims recite, memorize, and practice a lot of the teachings in the Qur'an. And the second source is Hadith. Hadith means the traditions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And also, if you see PBUH after each prophet's name when you're reading about Muslim, basically it's just to show respect. When we mention Adam, we always say peace be upon him. Jesus, peace be upon him. So just as a respect. So the verse that I showed here is very, very commonly quoted by people who feel the burden of responsibility in doing something. So in Quran chapter 6, verse 165, it says, "He is the one who made you Khalifa." And Khalifa is an Arabic word for vicegerents, stewards, or guardians of the earth. And here being a Khalifa means a leader for yourself, for your family, for your community. And also in terms of hadith, from collection of Sahih al-Bukhari, the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, or peace be upon him, said, "No doubt every one of you is a shepherd and responsible for your flock." So all of us are responsible for this. And here, this is some of another 3 quotation that tells us, what does it mean being a Khalifa? When you're a leader, what do you do? So this verse in chapter 7, verse 31, "O children of Adam, wear your adornment at every place of prayer. Eat and drink, but be not excessive, for God does not love those who are excessive." So as Muslim, we know that God didn't tell us, oh, so don't wear new things, don't wear beautiful things. No, God does encourage you to wear your beautiful clothing, whatever that you makes you feel good at every places of prayer, and eat and drink. You can eat and drink what has been given to you on this beautiful earth, but be not excessive. And so be moderate in whatever that you do. And because whenever that we go over the board of being moderate and excessive, that's what we see what's happening right now. A lot of waste, food is wasted, clothing, and a lot of the things that are right now hurting us and also hurting our environment. And the second verse said that eat and drink from the provision of God. Do not commit abuse on the earth, nor spread corruption. And so now, look at what are we doing? How are we abusing our earth? And if you are doing it, stop, and corruption. So this is a guidance that Muslims tap into from the Quran. And the third one, and spend of your substance in the cause of God, and make not your own hands contribute to destruction. Rather, do good to one and all. So here we know that you cannot just take from people, take from environment. You are supposed to spend your substance. So if you have an income, you have an earning, share it with other people, share it with the animals under your care, share it with the people under your care, share it with the earth. So we are supposed to contribute and work together with each other, and make sure that your own hands does not be the cause to destruction. And so we are supposed to do good to one and all. So these are the basic sum up. There are many other verses in the Quran, but these are some of the guidance. When we do, we always say, oh, this is what we are supposed to do. And that's what we are trying to do there. And from the collection of hadith, okay, we said, all right, we have the commandment from the Quran that you are supposed to be a steward, a Khalifa, but how do we do it? How can we do it? And these are among some of the 5 things that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us how you can do, how you can carry it out in day-to-day life. And so number 1 is to conserve your resources. As Muslims, practicing Muslims usually pray 5 times a day. And before we pray, we usually purify ourselves, make ourselves clean to get into the state of prayer. And what does that mean? We wash our hands, we rinse our mouth, we rinse our nose, wash our face, and then wash our arms up to the elbow, and then just wipe our head and clean our earlobes, and we wash our feet. And so in doing this, a lot of people would use a lot of water. It's very common if you go to a mosque, you see people turn on the tap, And then they started performing what we call Wudu Ablution to clean themselves. And so at CMGT, we are trying to tell people, you know, the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us not to waste water. And he used to perform ablution with one mud, about half a kilogram of water, or in a bowl of water. And he made that he can clean himself with that small bowl of water. So one of the things that we do is trying to tell people, you know, you can just take a bowl, take a container and put water in there, or run the water very dripping slowly rather than the water just gushing out. So conserve your resources that we have. And so the Prophet also tells us, number 2, plant trees as a means of good deeds, because when you plant trees, the trees will provide oxygen. That will be very important. And the hadith, the Prophet actually said, there is none among the Muslims who plant a tree or sow seeds and then a bird or a person or an animal eat from it, but it is regarded as a charitable gift. So if you do plant trees, what you're doing is you are doing charity. And every time somebody take a sip, somebody eat the fruit, or the bird, somebody come and seek shelter in the shade, you get the reward for giving that comfort to the person using it. And also care for animals and God's creation. There is a reward for serving any living being. In fact, okay, I'll come to number 5. So make sure that the animals that you have, you care for it. Don't overburden it. And in Islam, we believe that on the day of judgment, where all of us will be raised, the animals that you abuse has the right to ask God to punish you for what you did, for how you torture it, not feeding it or overburdening it or leaving it out in the cold. So we all have responsibilities for animals and God's creation. And the other thing that, number 4, practice sustainable consumption. So the Prophet said, he did what one of you would do in his house. The Prophet mended sandals and patched garments and sewed. So the Prophet and his companion, they didn't have that many things at that time. Yes, 1400 years ago, granted. But the Prophets were well known to be sewing, and he helped his wife to cook in the kitchen and sewing his own clothing. And it was also reported that when he died, he only have 6 items in his possession. And every time I look around me, I feel, oh my God, you know, look at all these things that I have kept all these years and all these things. So we have to try to practice reducing things that we don't need mostly. So practice sustainable consumption. And the last one, keep the environment clean and safe. And it was narrated, while a man was walking along a path, he found a thorny branch of a tree on the way and removed it. So Allah, which means the God, Allah thanked him for that deed and forgave him. So this is very, very inspiring message for a Muslim, knowing that even if you move a broken bottle, even if you pick up something that would hurt another person, you get reward for everything you do. So based on those inspirations, CMGT, I give just a brief growth plan, a brief history of CMGT's plan. As I mentioned earlier, in 2017, the founders participated in activities around Chicago and got inspired by it. By 2018, then they explored the possibilities of creating the nonprofit organization and started working on how to be an organization, visual identity, messaging, and then started the paperwork necessary. And programming, they also recruited volunteers and members, and also asking people what is it that they expect the organization, basically doing the SWOT assessment before forming the organization. In 2019 was the more activities happening. And so CMGT executed strategic plans, programs, a little bit of fundraising and marketing, because for Muslims, asking money is not part of the culture. It is, I mean, practiced by Prophet Muhammad and his companion, but it's not like a church. If you go to church, you know, it is very well known. You have to donate money and you pass the till and everything. In a masjid, it is done, in many countries, it is done kind of like quietly, shyly. And also when you give, you're not supposed to tell people, oh, you're giving, making a big deal out of it. So we didn't focus more on that fundraising. We are focusing more now, since we definitely need the money to carry out all the activities planned. And so 2019 also, we started activities for team building and training the team, and building trust, network, and alliances through our programming and collaborations. And to 2020, last year, during COVID, we thought we had so many plans for 2020, but of course we had to shelve it because of COVID. And thank God that through Zoom and we have internet and online activities, we were still able to focus on professional development, sending our staff and volunteers to be trained. And we strengthened programming and also did some programming online. And we did a little bit of fundraising, marketing, and collaborations with partners. And this year, we are planning to go more, to go forward more, especially in looking for grants and fundraising and training for staff, team members, and volunteers, and then continue to just keep on growing. So in terms of scope of work, when you see, basically we do have 4 areas that we focus on. Number 1 is making sure that helping raising awareness and develop green masjid. What does that mean? At the Green Masjid, as I mentioned earlier, we are raising awareness about saving water, saving electricity, energy, and what is it that we can do to make the building more green? What is it that we can do to make our practice in the center, in the building, not wasteful? And so we also focus in Green Ramadan. Ramadan is coming soon, next month, and Ramadan is a month where Muslims usually fast from sunrise to sunset. And during this time, they don't eat, they don't drink, and they don't smoke, and they cannot have any sexual relations. And so, but life continue back to normal in the evening after they break fast. And so during normal time, you will find in mosques, in communities, in homes, people just enjoy sharing, breaking fast together, because every time you feed another person, you get the reward of the person fasting. So sharing is very, very big in Ramadan. And at the mosque, usually you see a lot of food waste happening. So when we did Green Ramadan at Downtown Islamic Center, we introduced using eco-friendly materials, cups and plates and fork and spoon. Instead of using 2, we have spork, and also for the food, we gave them containers to take home so that the food is not wasted. And so developing Green Ramadan is our second important focus. Number 3 is about capacity building. Capacity building here, we focus on developing leadership programs to nurture leadership in the Muslim communities and also the bigger communities. Sometimes we were invited by other organizations to talk about what does leadership look like in your Muslim community. And for example, I'm an educator with a background in teaching English as a second language, and also covering topics about culture. So sometimes they ask our opinion, okay, how do we do this? How to do this? And so capacity building, and eventually this year and going on forward, we are very focused in training our own volunteers. When they sign up to volunteer with us, we ask them, what is it that you want to improve about yourself and your community? And we are trying to provide training for them to fulfill their missions in volunteering with us. So capacity building is very good. And of course, community focus, building bridges. Like today, thank you very much for having us. Right now, both of us are building bridges so that we can look forward to future collaboration to make this earth a better world. So the 5 R's that we practice at CMGT is basically repurpose, reduce, reuse, recycle, and restore. So these are the 5 R principles that we practice in everything that we do at CMGT and in the programming that we do at CMGT. So I'm just going to share, I know I've been talking a little bit, so I'm just going to show you some images of what we have done. So here you can see some of the program in 2018 that we did fall training and some of the partners that work with us, Faith in Place, Downtown Islamic Center, Peggy Notebart Nature Museum, and Trader Joe's and Collective Resources. So these are some of the activities that we did in 2019. And the zero food waste at Iftar Ramadan, breaking fast in Ramadan. That's what we did. And our first program in 2018 was attended by 18 people. So over the years now, the number has been rising up, which is very nice. And in 2019, the Ramadan Iftar was attended by nearly 300 people. And we really had to say thank you to Baba Pita Restaurants. And these are a list of the partners, the restaurant partners that we have built bridges with. And so we diverted about 45.7 pounds total of food waste in that particular event. And when we use biodegradable food containers, cup and utensils. And so what we did, these are some of the other activities that we did, Save Our Monarchs with our partners. And Mayor Lori Lightfoot also came to the IC. That was a big part of her campaign when she was running for mayor, and now her office has a good relationship with us, and especially with VIC, where we started our activities at. And also this is 2020, some of the leadership training, Green Team C3 leadership training for 2020. I was one of them. I was trained by the C3 Chicago Conservation Corps in fall 2020. And so we also made new partners last year with ShyCare, and Chicago Undersea Explorers also reached out to us as they were interested in one of the programs that I'm in charge of. And I'll mention it in a bit. And also Penny Appeal, and now we have Target Mariano's also partnering with us, which is awesome. And Caroline, one of our founder, is very, very active in establishing international partnerships with Southeast Asia, especially. And I'm also trying to encourage some of my contacts in Malaysia to, hey, you guys need to start this in Malaysia too. Now there are several organizations that are starting, and I'm also trying to get somebody to do the Plarn Project, which is what I'm doing now. I wanted to do it too in Malaysia, and maybe Indonesia. We'll see what we can do. So for 2021, what we are doing now, we are kind of scaling back on activities a little bit. Because right now we are trying to get more volunteers. We are really overstretched with the small team that we have. So this year we started our first Cmgt newsletter called The Green Leaf. We published it in January, and I'm the editor for the newsletter. And another thing that was new for me to learn about, and it's been fun doing it. So check it out. And our next publication is in April. So I'll make sure that you guys will receive a copy of that. And right now we have an ongoing project, which is called Plarn Sleeping Mat Project, and Plarn is really plastic yarn. So what we are doing basically is collecting plastic bags, and we recycle it by turning it into a sleeping mat to be distributed for our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness. And this project, I think will finish next month, but I'm thinking of extending it to do for the rest of the year if I get help to do that. And also other projects and collaborations that are happening. We are very excited working with Faith in Place and Dr. Grace. We have a Zooniverse webinar coming up on April 6, 2021. it's an online project, 6 o'clock until 7:30. I'll share the information with you. And also we have Green Ramadan coming up next month, April. It will start, I think, around April 12 until 1 month in May 12 or 13. And then we also have 2 programs that we may do, but we are not sure about that yet because we are thinking of focusing more on capacity building and brand building. And we thank 350 Chicago for really inviting us to their workshop on how to write grants. So now we have more confident about that, but we still call for volunteers. If you guys would like to help us in writing grants, hey, please do. And so a little bit about my Plarn sleeping mats. Of course, I'm plugging in my project, Conserve, Crochet, and Care. So basically, our goal by next month is to make about 50 sleeping mats and one plastic yarn mat about 6, the size is about 6 by 3 feet, uses about 700 plastic bags. So we save 700 plastic bags in just one of the mats that you can see there, the image of the mats. It will save mats from landfills. And also these mats are very, very useful for our unhoused neighbors because bugs don't like them, and they provide at least it's easy to clean and it's easy to dry, and also it provide medium rather than sitting on a hard, cold floor. So these mats are very, very useful for unhoused neighbors. And right now, my team for this particular project alone, I have volunteers age 5 to 100. This can be done by people in this age group. My youngest participant is 6-year-old. He made Plarn, which is plastic yarn, and gave it to his mom. So we have about 24 Plarners, about 6 crocheters, and the mats that we have made so far is 10. So I'm not sure whether we are gonna reach the goal, but we're definitely gonna at least aim for, if we can do half, that would be wonderful. So we also hold workshops. So our final workshop will be next Saturday, 1 to 2 p.m. Because I think it's very important to always check in with the group to see how they are doing. And in the workshop, basically what we do is we have fun. We catch up, have updates about who's doing what and all that kind, and who needs help, and we play games, and we learn about 1 or 2 new things by playing our Kahoot games. So now what can we do together? So this is one of the things that I encourage both teams, Cmgt and 350 Chicago, to think about. What can we do together based on the 5 R's that we have, the principles that repurposing, reducing, reusing, recycle, restore. How do we find sustainable ways for us to forge into the future? I'm really, when I read about 350, I really love the fact that you guys are volunteers who come together to build a just, prosperous, fair, safe and clean, renewable energy future for all. And that's why at CMGT, we are so excited to work with you and to learn from you on how to go about this. And I love the slogan and the quotes that was used in your advertising. We are bold, creative, and strategic. The climate crisis is immense, and we must be daring and courageous in response. We embrace experiments and new solutions, recognizing that this crisis requires innovative ways of solving problems. So I love those buzzwords: being bold, being creative, being daring and courageous, and also willing to experiment and look at new solutions and innovative ways to solve problems. These are really some of the values that really resonate highly and strongly with us at CMGT. And especially me as an education, in designing educational programming, those are the things that I look for, because we live in 2021 now. In the 21st century, we must be able to broaden our horizon. And that's why I'm really excited about working with you. So I'm calling all of us, let's make a better world. Let's work together. And so definitely you can tell us what you expect from us. And our earth is a finite earth. So let us all be the stewards of our environment. So let's do our part. So I will end my talk there, and I will share this presentation with 350 Chicago if you guys want to share it. And also, I know this program is being recorded, and so you have access. But stay updated and work together with us. So we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And feel free to contact us. Go to our website and just stay in touch with us. So now, if you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rohany. That was so informative and thorough, and you guys are doing amazing work. So thank you for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
I do have some questions in the chat, so I can facilitate those.
Should I stop sharing the screen? Yeah.
Maybe you could leave it up in case we want to reference.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I see chat here? Okay. All right. So question. Okay.
So our first question is, what does the crescent moon represent in your logo?
All right. The crescent moon is very typical, adopted by many Muslims around the world, but it has nothing to do with Islam, really. It's just cultural. Many people understood, oh yeah, the moon, the crescent. It's just because Muslims follow the Islamic calendar. It's called the Hijra Calendar, which started from the migration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca, where he was born and raised, and where he started his message of Islam. But then his community were persecuted there, and they were persecuted for 13 years. They were waiting for a revelation from God to fight back or to move. And so when finally revelation came, when Prophet Muhammad was told to move, go ahead with the message of Islam. So they moved to Medina, which is about 150 miles away from Mecca. And that is the beginning of the Islamic calendar. So the crescent moon really is more cultural, because we associate that with the lunar calendar that practicing Muslim follows. Right now we are in March in the lunar calendar. Next month will be Ramadan, which is the 9th month in the Hijri calendar. So it doesn't have any special meaning or related to the religion itself. It's cultural.
Okay, that's really interesting though.
But a lot of people will say, yes, the moon, you know.
Yeah. Kathy had a question.
Yes.
So if she understands correctly, Muslims don't belong to a mosque the way Jews and Christians belong or are members of a church in a building. So how do you reach the community with your message and invitations to participate? Yeah,
for in Islam, we don't have the idea of you belong to a mosque. Well, we do now, but according to the religion, you don't have to. Muslims are brothers and sisters to all other Muslims around the world. And also all the non-Muslims, we are all brothers and sisters, because we are all from Adam and Eve, right? We are all descendants of Adam and Eve. And so we do not belong to a particular person, mosque, or even, yes, we definitely don't belong to any particular person. My husband would be smiling to hear this, of course. And so my heart belongs to you, body belongs to me. That's why I always say I am a citizen of the universe. Right, I really hate this border that, oh, as Malaysian, as an American, you know, you can't go, you need passport and all this and that. When I came to Chicago, I kind of survey, I look at, I think we went to about 10 Islamic centers just to see which one do I resonate with. And so since I live right now by the UIC campus, it's close to DIC, and I really like DIC, Downtown Islamic Center. It's only a mile away from me. And the people there are so nice, so welcoming, and multicultural and all that. So I go there to pray the weekly Friday prayer, and I donate whenever I can, and wherever that I stop by, or any mosque that I stop by, then I donate and as I can, and I pray at the mosque that I stop at where I happen to be at that time. So right now, how do we do it? We do it by building bridges. For example, I would go to the MCC in Irving Park, and hi, how are you guys doing? Oh, my name is Rohany, introducing yourself. And then, yeah, I work with CMGT. What are you guys doing? So we do it face to face. We do it through email. We also participate in programming, people's programming. So it's really building bridges and networking. So that's how we are doing. And right now, we are also connecting with other groups domestically, not only in Chicago, but domestically and internationally as well. And so we are beginning to have reach internationally as well, which is so exciting.
That is exciting. Another question, is there a Quranic provision for when there is no water at all?
What do you mean, no water at all?
Oh, sorry. It was when I didn't read the full question. So with the ablution, when you're washing before you pray, what if—
when there's no water at all?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this is the beauty that I like about Islam, because there are always alternatives. There are always provision for emergency. Right? Provision for emergency. For example, when there is no water at all, we are allowed to make wudu, the ablution, by using the dust outside. The dust outside. So you go and then you look at the dust and then you make sure that it's clean. No doo-doo, dogs doo-doo, or dogs pee or anything, Make sure the dust is clean, and then you just kind of brush it a little bit and put your hands on the dust, and then you don't have to rinse your mouth, of course, because the dust is harmful for your mouth, and you can forego the step of rinsing your mouth and your nose. You just do the simple way of ablution with the intention that I am now cleaning myself to get into the state of prayer. And that's what I like. Can I just extend just one example? Okay, for example, that many practicing Muslims, they don't drink alcohol. They don't eat pork, right? There are not that many people think, oh, there are so many don'ts in Islam. It's so strict and all this and that. Really, there are very few things that are forbidden, very few things, but there are many things that are allowed. And so, for example, if I'm stranded on an island, right? I'm stranded on an island and there's no other thing to eat, no other thing to drink. And suddenly there are piglets on the island, and also there's a box of beer and alcohol or whatever it is that I found stranded on the island. I am permitted to consume those for the sake of survival. But when you have choices, like for example, if I go out with my non-Muslim friends, and for example, if they drink or something, I love pina colada, so I always ask for virgin pina colada. No alcohol. And now we live in an era, there are so many different choices. Yeah. And so it's about making choices that fit your belief and your lifestyle.
Definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah.
We had a few questions on the MAP project.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Kathy asked, is Bashir Hassan involved with the Plarn Project?
How do you get involved with the Plarn Project? Okay.
Kathy, I don't know if you want to ask
Kathy,
more.
But can I just respond to Kathy's comment about your organizational focus is
sure.
huge. Kathy, this is what all our partners told us, and especially Penny Appeal last week, just like you guys, you can't save the earth that way, so that's why this year and next year we are scaling down a number of things and focusing on making money. And so you are right, Kathy, it is so right.
Thank you.
Okay, is Bashir Hassan involved? No, who is Bashir Hassan? I don't know him that well.
Bashir is someone, I'll be quick about this because it's a slight tangent. He is someone who I was recommended to by, referred to by a friend for working with the homeless.
Okay.
I thought if he doesn't know about this project, I'm going to let him know.
Please do. We have one more month. And
I'm going to meet with him on Wednesday. I'll let him know. Okay.
Email. I mean, please connect us. I would be so happy. I am guilty for not advertising it too much. You know, I had big plans when I started. Yes, I'm gonna go on TV and just say this is community event and all this and that. But now after doing so many things, and I still haven't contacted them. I still have 1 month. I might do that just to tell them that, hey, let's do this with the plastic bags, right? And I just want to show. I'll answer Louise and Jean's question. 1 minute. Okay, I am back. I just wanted to show because I think Jean asked, what is a Plarner? Plarner is the person who makes plastic. So you know our grocery bag. So the grocery bag, the regular grocery bag, we just cut top and bottom to get rid of the handles because the handles are not good to be used. And then you just cut them into 4 pieces. You just fold them into 4 parts. So when you open it, it becomes a circle like this. So all you do is you just make the circles. And that's what is called plarning. So if you are making it 2 circles, and to make the circles, you just put it in, ta-da! And I usually do the plarning while I'm sitting here talking with the family or watching a movie that I don't have to focus, you know. So this is what plarning is. And this is what Plarn looks like, plastic yarn. And when you get a lot, then you make it into a ball. This is huge. This is my daughter made this. This is huge. And so how am I collecting this? I use the app Next Door Neighbor. And through this app, I've been meeting interesting people in our community. And they drop off since now no mosque is open and the IC is closed. So I've been telling people to drop off plastic bags and Plarn that some people who volunteered to make Plarn, drop them off at my apartment because we have a doorman. And so they would just write a note for Rohany 106, you know, and they drop it off. And if they want to chat with me, then I go down and wait for them to drop off and we chat and talk. And so how am I collecting the mats? And right now I'm telling people, drop off your mat to me by April 16, Friday, so that we can distribute them on Saturday. And ShyCare is an organization that we've been working with since last year. ShyCare, they provide warm meals to our unhoused neighbor every week. Every week they provide warm meals to 400 of our neighbors. And it's been wonderful working with them. I work with Farhan Ahmed and his team. Wonderful, wonderful partner. So that's what we are doing. Anything else?
Yeah. Does anyone want to ask a question live?
Feel free to ask. Don't feel shy, because I am a believer in ask questions so that you get the answer, you know. Frank,
good question. So for your newsletter, actually, I was wondering, how do we sign up first? Or do we sign up through you or do email?
You can go to our website, Cmgt, Chicago Muslim Green Team, or I can send it to you, Frank. Seriously, I can send it.
I'll drop my email in the chat.
Yes, please. Yes, please. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Thank you.
And then also, I guess, since I'm part of the newsletter for our organization, I was thinking, like, what are ways that we can use our tools to promote or lend, I guess, to lend our voice to your causes, your events, and whatnot, because it seems like you guys do a lot of very cool things.
Oh, we do, and we have more that we have to cut down. That's the thing for me. Working in with different institutions that are already established, universities, being an educator, I am so new at this fundraising and doing all these things with very limited money, because what I used to do when I was in Madison, Wisconsin, I work with Lubar Institute. Unfortunately, they closed down after 4 years after I left, and designing program for community, and especially for youth, children and women. I love designing program. And so Courage Project, I remember the Courage Project in Madison, Wisconsin was really big. And because of that, I was invited to represent UW-Madison to the White House in 2011, when Obama had the initiative for places of worship to come together and to network and do transformational programming for the country. So Frank, I'll be very happy if you want to, we can have a Zoom meeting, if you have any questions or you want to work together with me too. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be really awesome. Definitely looking forward to it.
Okay. I put my email. I know it's a little bit long. This is our new domain. And I'm just like, why is it so long? Then Caroline said, Rohany, everything else is taken, the shorter one. And so this is our new domain. So come email me if you have any questions and anything. So can I ask a question, Melissa?
Definitely, yes.
So what are some of the things that some areas that you see that we can work together, or something that I said that resonated with 350 Chicago?
Yeah, actually, can you go back to the slide that had the different values? Yeah. So
the values?
Or maybe the scope of work, actually.
Scope of work.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Did I pass it?
Yeah. I think it's after the growth plan.
Here.
Yeah. So I was looking at the programs that you have there, and I think it's so interesting. So like, I haven't even heard of some of them, like citizen science, or
yes.
But through my church, actually, I've done a mindful eating. So I think we are trying to expand our education committee as well, and think of different just different events that we can have. So I wonder if we could partner on some of the education that you're doing, promote together, attend together, plan together. I think that would be really cool, especially the mindful eating.
Sure. And actually, Faith in Place, they have a curriculum for Christian, from the Christian perspective. It's wonderful. And I'm 50%. I was supposed to finish it last December, but I got so excited. When you look at all this and meeting people, Plarn Project and everything. And plus, my daughter is getting married in May and just dropped that on us. So that's why I'm just like, okay. Okay. So my time is really, really limited. But so I am right now writing a curriculum, mindful eating, from an Islamic perspective. So I would be very happy. Yes, let's work together on that. And then we can join Faith in Place too. So now, that would be awesome working with them. And then I said that we can even extend it to make it fun. I'm a big person on fun. Everything I do have to have the element of fun, because otherwise, why do it? Right? Life is too hard as it is, especially during this pandemic. And so we can also extend that with coming up with recipes, simple recipes for low budget for parties, for all this and that. And I kind of made 2 videos on my red tofu and vegetarian yellow rice. It's somewhere in Facebook, the land of Facebook. You guys can get access to it. Very simple recipes, and we can have cooking demonstration. We can extend it cooking demonstration. We can do a recipe collection and even sell it for fundraising. You know, there are so many things we can do. And
yeah,
so
I agree. I'm on the education committee and Ray heads it up. So
Okay.
yeah, I wonder if at some point we could all meet and think about what we could do together for education.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. I'm down for it. And this would be that, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted you to come. Build a bridge, come our way, you know, create a path to work with us, you know, and so then we can build bridges to other groups as well. And so another thing, I like the climate change. So we are looking forward to learn more by following you and working with you on the climate change and what we can do, you know, in terms of how can we translate to day-to-day life, what to do to help in the fight of climate change.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if you all were doing any legislative advocacy work, like working with the Clean Energy Jobs Act or renewables in Chicago, anything like that.
You know, right now, unfortunately, because of our status is, what is it, C3? I'm not too familiar with all this. So we don't have the C4 that is required to do advocacy. But we were told by our partners who are lawyers and all that, yes, we'll teach you ways to kind of like still advocate for a cause, you know, but you don't have to be political about it.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Why
That's
not?
what we're doing.
You know, so why not? And we definitely, if we are not doing anything illegal and still support the mission and the work, we are pretty open to that, and we are looking forward to support your mission also.
Okay, great. Yeah, did anyone else from 350 want to?
Yes, anybody else?
Ways to work together?
Yeah, especially if there's like stories around like environmental justice, especially from like a Muslim or Near East perspective that we should include. It's one of our goals as an organization that like going forward, we should include more stories and awareness around environmental and racial justice issues. Then it sounds like you guys are an environmental justice organization, and that, I mean, I guess on the slide it says that's one of your primary mission goals, right?
Yes.
So that's one way we can support you guys, whether it's making a statement in solidarity or including some of the, like, any asks within our newsletter. We'd be happy to coordinate with you to do that. And I'll send you an email after this.
Okay, awesome, Frank. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. What else? I'm looking at some of our activity. I told you the program that is coming up in April. That is the Zooniverse, Zooniverse platform. So Dr. Grace has she got a small grant that she's a scientist, and she got a small grant that encourage places of worship to do research or projects to encourage people to learn about the planet by using their platform, and that will connect you to real life scientists. If you go to Zooniverse, I don't have the information right now. I can send it to you guys and look at what project is happening right now. You know, for example, if I'm interested in the monarch, right? I go on Zooniverse and type in monarch and see what are projects that have been completed. You can get information, projects that has finished, or that are going right now, or that are coming up soon. And then you can share your project with the scientists who are actually in the process of doing that particular research. It's really awesome, really, really awesome. I really encourage all of you and join our webinar if you can. It's on a Tuesday, I think, April 6th at 6 to 7:30 p.m. Or at least check it out, because you can include that in your programming. And Frank, maybe you can mention that you have in your, what is that? Mention this program in your newsletter. Yeah. Have you started your newsletter yet? Yeah.
Our next draft goes out on the 17th. So
this month? Okay.
17th of this month, and then the 31st after. So we'll be,
or even 31st is better too. Because people forget when you put it. Not everybody is organized,
Yeah.
So in either issue is fine. If you can just give a shout out. I know this is a collaboration between Faith in Place, CMGT, and Dr. Grace. They'll be very happy to know that if you guys can just give a shout out to the program.
Yeah, I'll include that in an email and ask for whether if there's like a certain plugin that you'd like to see included, that we can include that there. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Very good. Wonderful. Oh, welcome.
Well, there was a lot of praise for your presentation in the chat. Inspirational, beautiful, wonderful. So yeah, thank you so much.
You see, I'm a literacy person. And as a literacy person, we focus on stories. And so if you notice, I don't speak like a scientist or anything, more like a storyteller. And that's what we do. And that's one of the things that we are doing this year at CMGT too. I think this summer, Caroline insists that we focus on our story. How to make our story. And then in terms of writing, in terms of spoken, and maybe also in terms of making a video or documentary about CMGT. So that's one of the projects that we are looking. Cool. Yeah, we just met with our partner recently in Minnesota. Oh, I forgot. She presented to CMGT last week, and it was so inspiring how she said that they created the narrative, the story about their nonprofit organization. And so it'll be definitely I'll be sharing them with you, and maybe then our story can be individual, or the merging, or the bridge building is another angle that's really awesome. I love when people come together and getting to know each other, because we are only stronger when we collaborate.
Yes,
right.
We need more of that. It's gonna be so disjointed.
Yes, and also increasing understanding of each other, because there's so much misinformation around, and there's so much hate. And I really, part of my mission in life, I want to counter the hate, turn it upside down,
Absolutely, yeah.
into positivity and good work, so doing good.
Sounds like a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much. Yeah, we want to share the positivity and inclusiveness and collaborate. Those are important to us as well.
Thank you.
So, yeah, lots of applause. So thank you so much, Rohany.
Most welcome.
Yeah, appreciate everyone joining us today. I will stop the recording for today. So I hope those who couldn't join us are able to find us on YouTube. All right, thank you.
Okay.